Hey, it's time at Dish with D. That's me. Thank you for clicking on this video, making yourself a priority. I'm Denise. It is Monday, and Monday on this channel is now my weigh-in day and the Weight Watchers weekly meeting topic for the week. From now on, I will be uploading this video today, Monday. It is a video I will film on Monday. This is a video I will show you on Monday. So it is a new day. Why do you ask? I need to get my weekends reined in. And with everybody being home on the weekends, I think I just tend to say, well, I got a whole week, and I just feel like I need a little more structure. So the best way for me to get structure is to know that I have to get weighed in on Monday. So I did help this weekend. I'm not gonna lie. I had a decent weekend compared to some of my weekends. So I think that's gonna help me reel in those nasty weekends, because when everybody's home doesn't mean, okay, everybody's here, let's just free for all, because it's not. Yeah, I could be looser on some days than others, absolutely, but it was way too out of hand. So that is my story, and I'm sticking to it. So we'll have this video on Mondays. It doesn't really matter, honestly. A video is a video. When it goes up, it goes up. When I get weight, I get weight. So it's all good in the hood, I think. So I got weighed this morning. Now, let's rewind the tape. How was your week? It was okay. Was it great? No. It was better than it's been, though. Oh, yeah, that's for sure. It's been, compared to the weeks prior, it was stellar. So yeah, could it have been better? Of course it could have been, but it could have been worse too. So I have to look at the fact that, yeah, it wasn't as good as I wanted, but it wasn't as bad as it could have been. So look at those little silver linings in that. Yesterday, I did not have my normal pre-weigh-in day routine. As we all know, we have those pre-weigh-in day routines. Things that we do the day before weigh-in just to, push things along. So I didn't do my green tea flush. I didn't have any extra water. I didn't do any exercise. I didn't do anything. I was actually, I shouldn't say that. I was out all day. That's the problem. I was at a shower, and it was an hour each direction. So it was a 2-hour ride. So I didn't get a chance to do any of that. And did I have food that I normally wouldn't have yesterday? Sure did, because it was a baby shower, I did stay away from the gluten. I was proud of that. I ordered the bread and the pasta. I avoided that. So I had salad, I had salmon, I had chicken, I had asparagus, and I had roasted potatoes. So I was mighty proud of what I had. I was like, I like this. And I had cheesecake. Good cheesecake was gluten-free. I was all excited about that. So yeah, it was a little mini cheesecake, so I had that. And I had 2 adult beverages. It was a brunchy type shower, so I had a mimosa too, actually. Sorry, not sorry, I did. So it was not the day I would have normally had before weigh-in. And sometimes that happens because, I can't go to the shower because it's the day before weigh-in, I need to do my prep. It is what it is some weeks. Some weeks you don't get the day you want before weigh-in, and you just go with the flow. So how did you do on the scale, D? I was the same. Oh, so I was thrilled with that because of, like I said, eating out yesterday, having beverages out, not having my flush, not having the water I needed to have. A lot of times I was bringing, when I was going out, I was bringing my big old water bottle. I didn't do that yesterday. I thought about it as we're walking out the door, and I'm like, I just don't have time. I should have done it. But I did have a glass of water there, and she did refill it a few times, so I did better than I would have done. And like I said, I avoided the gluten, which I was proud of, because some days I'll be like, well, I'm out, so let me have this. I think it was a vegetable ravioli, or was it a seafood ravioli? I think it was a vegetable ravioli. And that bread did look amazing. Yeah, I was like, and then Caesar salad. I avoided the croutons because normally I would have, I'll have the croutons. And I'm like, no, that is gluten in it, Denise. Do not have the croutons. So I was really good. In fact, I was sitting with somebody who was trying to be gluten-free too, so that helped. We were chit-chatting about that. So if I probably didn't go to the shower yesterday, you might have seen maybe a quarter or a half of a pound loss. I would venture to guess. Because that, believe it or not, that green tea flush helps. It does help me flush out those fluids that kind of build up during the week. And I try to do green tea all the time, but I do like a big green tea on the green tea flush day. And it's usually iced, so that does help me. And I do normally drink a lot more water than I did yesterday. Came home, I had a Trader Joe's shrimp burger for dinner. I had it over salad because I wasn't starving, because we ate probably around 12:30, 1 o'clock. And I ate normally more than I would have at lunch. Like I said, I had a piece of chicken breast. I had a salmon. So I really wasn't starving, but I knew if I didn't eat something come 8, 9 o'clock, I would have been like looking for something. And I didn't want to look for something 8, 9 o'clock. So around 5:30, I made little shrimp burgers, and I put it, I say salmon, it was shrimp burgers, over, I had it over greens with cucumbers, and there was something else in there. I don't remember. There was something else in that salad. So I had that. So like I said, and I had breakfast before I left. I had because I don't go there hungry. Just because you're having a meal, it doesn't mean you just starve all day. No, I had a little 1-point yogurt with 2 points of granola on top. So that was what I had before I went, and I had that probably around 8:30, and then like I said, we didn't eat till 12:30, so I'd have been crawling the walls. I'm a person that needs to eat breakfast at breakfast, have a little bit of lunch, and have a dinner. That's just, you know, to me, it keeps my metabolism up. It doesn't, keeps me from making crazy choices. So Timmy, you all asked about Timmy. Timmy is still home. He doesn't officially go back to school till the 16th of January. This week he goes for just conferences, but it's not school. So he'll be back home this Friday again for the long weekend. And then he'll be gone for a month. So I think once he gets back into his routine, he'll be gaining weight again. And I get that. You know, you're out of your routine. I do. I get it. So I will update you when he updates me. So let's get to the topic at hand with WWs. How to build a tracking routine. Oh, tracking. This is such one of those subjects that's either people love it or they hate it. People love to track or they hate to track. I don't know if I know anybody that's kind of like on the fence with it. It's either you love it or you're like, I just can't do it. I just can't do it. I don't mind tracking, I'll be honest with you. And I say this all the time, and I'm going to repeat it here. Tracking got me to goal. When I became a proficient tracker, that's when all the good things happened. I was a horrible tracker my whole Weight Watcher career. Up until then, and then when I realized the app made it easier, the quick add made it easier, eating the same, you know, around about the same foods all the time because of the things I like, I know the points for, so I could track them. So that helps too. Fact, people who track their food more often lose more weight. That is a fact. So how do you get yourself to track more? Make it just another part of your routine, like brushing your teeth, pouring your coffee, and checking your email. Pick it up. And if, you know, I know there are paper trackers, but if you're a digital tracker, sit down, put it in there, and eat. That is my routine. I track and I eat. Sometimes but if I forget to track before, then I definitely track before as I'm eating. I just pick up my phone and I track it. Which tracking style makes it feel easier? Tracking an entire day's food or food at once or as you go. Saving often tracked foods and meals, or tracking from scratch every time. Track before, during, or after you eat. Now, that's interesting to sit there and put tracked foods in there. Like, save them as your favorites. So, like, for me, oats is in there because I eat overnight oats once a week. So I know that's already in there. So certain things, if you're, like, certain things that you're geared to eat, make them your favorites, put them in there, and then just, boom, get it in and out. What strategies have worked well for you? Taking a picture of meals to track later. That's a good thing. Track at certain times of the day. Like I said, whatever one you like. Using the barcode scanner. I do use the barcode scanner a lot. Using the quick add feature. Yes. And they kind of moved it, so it's not as easy to get to, but it's still there. You hit the little top bar or hit track food. When it brings that new screen up, you just hit that plus sign and that comes up. Or other. Like, to me, I used to say this, and I still say it. Track before you eat. Eating is my reward for tracking. It is. And once you keep doing it, it'll become like picking up your coffee and taking a sip. It will, because it's what you do. It's how you start a routine. You're not going to wake up the next day and just think, okay, I'm going to track, and it's just going to pop out. No, you have to force yourself to do it. And then the more you do it, the more you're going to look to do it. Use your answers to determine how you will create a tracking routine. I'll track meals and snacks as I go, and I'll use the barcode scanner, some favorites, and guesstimate points when needed. There's nothing wrong with guesstimating. There is nothing, you have to give it something. Better to give it something than to not track it. That's a light bulb moment, because you'd be like, I don't know what it is, so I'm just not going to track it. No, you just guesstimate it. It doesn't matter whether you're right or wrong. There's points there. There's points taken out. So that's what you have to worry about. When is the best time to track? I'll set aside a few minutes after every meal. I don't like to track at the end of the day, only because if you've gone over, because you think you know, I'm not the best in addition. Let's put it that way. So I can't sit there and at night, that's how I tracked all in my head. It never works for me. No, because then I'll be like, oh, I went over. And there's days I didn't want to go over, or days I couldn't go over, or days I shouldn't go over. But I track it every meal. So this way it's so much easier for me to eat. Like I know now what I used 5 points this morning for breakfast. I know that already. So I know, and I'm generally thinking around this time of the day what I want to make for lunch or what I have around the house. That always helps. So I know I have I have some turkey breast upstairs. I know that. I have some leftover hummus that I made last Sunday that I need to get used up. That's 0 points. So I know that my lunch is going to be very flexible. So that means I could fit a snack in. I could fit a bar. I could fit some nut butter in on a rice cake. So knowing what you have makes you able to eat, if that makes sense. Let's dive deeper. We talk a lot about tracking, and if you're new around here, hi and welcome. Get ready to learn much more, because the science is clear. More tracking equals more weight loss. Why? Tracking makes you aware of what and how much you're eating, and the first step to meaningful change in awareness. Tracking makes you aware of what you're eating. That's so true, because we forget. Think about what you ate last week. Do you remember? That's the same thing for me. Like, it makes sure I could eat more because I track, because I know that I have all these extra points. I could have back in the day, I could have a roll with dinner. I could have a slice of bread. I could have a little bit of extra second helping of this or that because I know I have points. I could make me a fun little protein pudding at the end of the day because I know I have points left. What's tricky is tracking takes time and effort, and we humans prefer doing stuff that's easy. Of course we do. And I'll tell you something. Something that's easy is never worthwhile, I don't think. I feel like the more you put effort into something, the more accomplished you feel. So learning into what makes tracking feel seamless for you can help you work it into your day and stick with it. Other tips. One tip I'll give you before I read theirs is don't make it seem like a drudgery. Like, oh, I have to track. Oh, I have to track. Do I have to track for the rest of my life? If it keeps weight off, if that is something easy you can do to keep weight off, wouldn't you sign right up for that? You're not taking a pill. You're tracking. You're putting something down on paper or digital. Basically, you're just writing it down. And now it makes it so easy for us. Think about that. Isn't that worth it? That's a simple thing that you can do for yourself. Set guidelines and reminders. For example, if you track after every meal, open the app as soon as you clear your plate. For all at once trackers, set the phone alarm for that time that works for you. You could set an alarm, a tracking alarm, if that would help. If you forget too often, set an alarm. I tend to sit down, track, then eat. And we all have our phones with us. There's really no excuse. Because I'm going to tell you something. I know a lot of people sit there with their phones. They're right next to them. There's no reason why you can't track that food. You just don't want to take the extra steps. But here's again, it's something we have to do. It's work. And I think we tend to have to shy away from anything that's work. Putting weight on was easy. Taking weight off is work. And if you're not willing to do the work, you're never going to lose the weight and you're never going to achieve your goals. And that's a hard statement for me to say because that's harsh, but it's truth. And that is what I want to run home to you. It's truth. You have to work for it. No one is going to hand you this. You have to put the effort in. And it's not really as hard as we make it out to be. Oh, I just don't want to track. Oh, really? Are you out lifting 50-pound weights. No, you're picking your phone up, you're putting your food in, and you're moving on. We make it like as, oh, I have to sit there or exercise. This is so much easier than exercise. Oh my gosh. Tracking doesn't make you feel exhausted to make your muscles hurt. It takes seconds. And we sit there and we moan and complain. It's who we are, I think, as humans. It's just anything extra we have to do. But we'll run to grab that second piece of cake. Won't we? That takes just the same amount of effort. Forget perfection. Tracking consistently with fewer details is better than getting burned out trying to log in every single bite, ingredient, and exact portion. That's why the quick add works. It's giving it something, and something is so much better than nothing. So yeah, you don't need to put in, like I said, my squirt of olive oil. Am I sitting here worrying about that? No. You know what I'm saying? So you just have to get some things tracked. Start out, because I said start out baby steps and work into it. But to sit there and complain, tracking is hard, but we run up to grab that second helping with minimal effort. No matter where you are in your journey or what else is going on, creating and sharpening routines around the most effective weight loss behaviors like tracking helps keep you focused and paves the way to your goals. That's how you get there. And I am living proof of that because I did not ever get to my goal until I was a proficient tracker. Not a perfect tracker. I was a consistent tracker. Proficient meaning I definitely picked and I put it in there. Sometimes my points weren't always perfect because I didn't know what they were, and I guesstimated, like yesterday at the shower. Did I know what I was having? I know I had chicken breast. It was in an orange sauce. It was breast, so I knew that was fine. I just had to count the sauce. We also had salmon. I knew the salmon was 0, but it was in a sauce. I had to give points to the sauce. I had asparagus. Now, of course, asparagus is probably in some either oil or butter. I'm going to venture oil rather than butter because that was out. So I had to count the oil for that. Roasted potatoes are always roasted with something. Potatoes I had to count, and I made sure that I got a pile that looked like 2 points worth. Did I have a scale? I didn't. But I looked at that and I said, this looks like, because I have potatoes all the time. I know sort of what 2 points looks like. Might have been 3, but I gave it 2. And of course, there's some sort of oil in that. I had Caesar salad. Lettuce was 0. Had to count the dressing. And the little shards of Parmesan cheese. So I sat there and gave it points according to what that was. Again, was I 100% accurate? Probably not. But I was in the ballpark, and that's good enough because we have weeklies sitting there. So if you make that little error, you have these weekly points right there. And don't forget, you have to pull from that. Don't act like there's points don't exist, because they do, and they're there for a reason, and use them. 3 fast facts. Food tracking is one of the strongest predictors of weight loss. People who consistently track consistently do better. You can't be on a journey if you don't know what you're eating and don't know what you have left to eat. I don't know how people, I will venture to I'm going to put myself out there and say the people who don't track are the people who are not doing the best that they could do. You know, are you losing the same 5 pounds? How's your tracking skills? I guarantee you, if you become a better tracker, you will see the scale start to move. Tracking works because it helps you be aware of your choices and any changes you want to make. And you can have dessert if you track because you know you have points left. And who doesn't want a little dessert? And we're not talking big dessert. You can have a 2-point Fiber One bar because you have points left. But you're going to have it anyway, not knowing what you have. That's not fair. You could be at 28 or 30 points, not knowing what you have. Research shows that tracking consistently is more important than tracking every detail perfectly. It's so true. It is so true because you're going to be in the general ballpark. And that's all you worry. That's the place to be. You don't always have to be at that exact 23 points. You don't. You can be a little bit up. You can be a little bit down. It's just, you have to be in the ballpark consistently. And the only way to be in there consistently is to know what you're eating. Any Weight Watcher worth their goal, or anybody on a weight loss journey worth their weight in gold, tracking is important. No matter what you track. You want to track calories, you want to track macros, you want to track points. You have to track something. You have to be accountable for something. You can't just sit there, well, I'm eating chicken breast, I'm eating that, and it's fine because, you know, it's on the 0-point food list. Well, it's all great and well, but you got to know what you're eating. You have to. And know what, and know, like I said, guesstimate there's nothing wrong with a good guesstimation. Like I said, looking at that food, I looked at all that food before I made my plate. And I avoided the pasta. I avoided the rolls because they were the two things that, honestly, they had gluten in it and I was just avoiding completely. But I knew that that was chicken breast, that was salmon. Yes, it had a sauce, but all I had to worry about was the sauce. So I was very comfortable with putting each of that on my plate. They were beautiful pieces. It was delicious, absolutely delicious. So I was really happy with the choices I made. I tracked it, I moved on. And I knew I had points to come home and have a little bit of dinner. You can sit there and say, well, that was my meal for the day because we ate out. I should be having around 1,300 calories. Doesn't matter what points I use. And was that worth 1,300 calories? No. So I knew I had to eat another meal or a little bit of something. I have to be smarter than the average bear. So how is your tracking tips? How are your tracking behaviors? I mean, in the comment section below. How did your week go? Did you lose? Did you gain? Did you bounce back from the holidays? Because this is our first week from last Monday was the first. So almost our first full week being in the challenge. How are you doing? I know a lot of people the first week are always gung-ho. We're week 2. Are you still gung-ho? Remember, in order to achieve our goals, we have to work at it. We do. And at the end of every one of these videos, I'm going to put a couple of the challenge videos that I've already done because I've done them. There's no sense me refilming videos I've already talked about. But they will be there at the end of this video for you to check on if you're in the challenge. I will put 2 each week, maybe 3, depends. And if you're new to the challenge or you need a refresher of those topics, you can see them at the end of the video. Click on them. They're 10 minutes or less. I try to keep them short and brief so you can definitely get a little bit of inspiration from them. And on a topic maybe you're working on for this week. Remember, each week we're changing what behavior we're working on. I had a sheet printed last week. It was in the video. If you didn't see it, it's in last week's video. It's Monday's challenge video. And I have a checklist you can print out and pick what you want to work on each week. You pick one of those things every week and you get to choose because it's your journey. You need to know what you need to work on. We all need to work on different things. So you choose each week what you want to work on. And if you want to work on the same thing, that's great. I mean, there's like 10 to 12 or 15 topics that I chose or behaviors that you can pick that you could work on. I mean, there's a lot. So definitely the first one everybody should have done, which was clean out your pantry. Clean out your life. Get rid of everything that bugs you. Get rid of it. Get rid of it. Or hide it. Put it in the back. Keep all your stuff in the front. Go to the store. Get all the things that you need. Keep them up front in clear containers. You can see your fresh fruits and vegetables and all your good for you foods. I have a basket on my counter of all my bars and my snacks that I can grab if I need something. I don't have to see their stuff because their stuff's in the other room. Out of sight, out of mind for me, but mine's front and center, as should yours be. So that is it for me. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know with a big old thumbs up. If you haven't yet hit that subscribe button, join us here at Dish with D, where we are slaying our weight loss. We are tracking. Tracking brings you success. Stop complaining about it and just learn to fit it in. Learn what your magic sweet spot and how to track is, because we all track differently. So find out what you can consistently do and do it. If that's the one thing you can do to get your weight off, to keep your weight off, isn't it worth it? You're not giving yourself a pill. You're not giving yourself an injection. You're doing a little bit of work. And it's not as much as it could be. So let's get under control before it becomes a lot of work. Because, you got diabetes setting in. You got heart disease setting in. Coronary artery disease. Things that, arthritis. As we get older, things happen. And if we could, stave off some of these things by having a better diet, you're saving yourself in the end anyway. So that is it for me. Again, let me know how your week went. I will put those challenge videos at the end of the video. It's either this side or it's this side. I don't forget. We'll do this here. They're going to be on one of these sides. So I will dish with you another day. Have a great rest of your day, and I will see you later, Gators.